It's February 21st, 2024, and X, Elon Musk's platform, is going berserk. A new hashtag is trending. The hashtag Google AI. If you click on it, here's what you can see. A multitude of tweets mocking Google's generative AI system and calling it woke. Indeed, Google really messed up with their AI.
Oh yeah, people have been very unhappy. So the Google AI replaces white people with black people, is that right?
Here's what happened. Google's Gemini, formerly known as Bard, introduced text-to-image generative features this month. The issue arose when the system attempted to address gender and racial representation biases in AI, resulting in the creation of historically inaccurate images. Users shared peculiar outcomes on social media, featuring a range of historically anomalous images generated by Google Gemini. These included a racially diverse group portraying a 1943 German soldier, black Vikings, a female Catholic pope, women NHL players, the founders of Google depicted as Asian men, and non-white individuals in a scene with the US's founding fathers. In a statement early Thursday, Google said, "We're already working to address recent issues with Gemini's image generation feature. While we do this, we're going to pause the image generation of people and will re-release an improved version soon. We're aware that Gemini is offering inaccuracies in some historical image generation depictions," the tech giant said in a statement on February 22nd, after users reported the errors. "We're working to improve these kinds of depictions immediately. Gemini's AI image generation does generate a wide range of people. And that's generally a good thing because people around the world use it. But it's missing the mark here." Critics vehemently criticized Google's corporate culture in light of the Gemini snafus. In a post on X, computer scientist and investor Paul Graham stated, "The ridiculous images generated by Gemini aren't an anomaly. They're a self-portrait of Google's bureaucratic corporate culture." Graham emphasized the correlation between a company's cash cow and the degradation of its culture, pointing out that Google's search advertising, one of the world's largest cash cows, was a contributing factor. Right-wing commentator Ashley St. Clair contextualized the controversy within a broader culture war framework. In a post on X, she commented, "What's happening with Google's woke Gemini AI has been happening for years in media and Hollywood, and everybody who called it out was called racist and shunned from society." St. Clair highlighted the long-standing nature of the issue and the tendency to label dissenters as racist in the media and Hollywood. So, in a nutshell, most people are pointing fingers at Google, attributing all of this to the mainstream woke culture pushing for greater diversity in the media. The company took a drastic step by putting a stop to its Gemini tool's ability to generate images of people, acknowledging inaccuracies in some historical image generation depictions. This move has been met with widespread acclaim from various commentators who took a playful jab at Google through the media. Judging by the intense backlash, it appears that Google is facing the consequences, and, in this case, the crowd's sentiments align with what's right. However, this situation is more complex than it may seem, posing particular challenges for people of African descent who have long endured misrepresentation or outright neglect in the media. Here's why. The real reason Google AI made everything black. The Cleopatra controversy. In 2023, Netflix dropped a bombshell with a TV series centered on Cleopatra. The documentary stirred up heated debates, prompting everyone to join the conversation. The primary bone of contention? The chosen actress for Cleopatra was visibly black, challenging the conventional portrayal of the Egyptian queen of Macedonian descent as white. However, the backlash against this audacious move didn't confine itself to Netflix alone. No, it spilled over. A wave of complaints and attacks targeted the black community, blaming them for what was happening. In simpler terms, people sought a scapegoat, and the majority pinpointed black people, often labeled as Afrocentrists, as the culprits behind this perceived fiasco. For these critics, Afrocentrists conveniently became the perfect target to rationalize why Netflix presented Cleopatra as black. According to them, Netflix, in an attempt to be socially conscious, engaged in blackwashing historical figures, casting aside accuracy for an agenda. This led to a loss of credibility for creators like me at that time, reinforcing the prevailing notion that the vast majority of ancient historical figures were white, particularly in the Mediterranean region and North Africa. In other words, nothing should be changed. Everything is perfectly accurate and fine as it is right now, statements I completely disagree with. So now we have this Google AI drama. It might seem trivial, but these events are closely linked. Similar to Netflix's Cleopatra, the recent Google AI drama, in my view, does more harm than good to those advocating for accurate history and representation. This isn't the first occurrence of such events. Initially, they may appear unrelated to the concerns of the Black community. However, the aftermath consistently impacts the credibility of those striving for accurate representation. Once again, significant groups are taking it upon themselves to alter the depiction of ancient historical figures, but not in the appropriate manner. They select figures whose ethnic transformation would provoke the most controversial reactions from the public. This animosity ultimately directs blame towards Black people, framing them as the alleged source of these actions. Basically, they put an indirect pressure on those of us who are asking for change and hope that it will make us stop fighting for this cause. Take Cleopatra, for instance. Nobody ever demanded her portrayal as a Black queen. It wasn't even a topic of discussion within African communities. But it mattered to Europeans. By selecting her, an intense reaction was almost guaranteed. Now, Google's AI ventures into depictions of America's founding fathers or German soldiers as Black people. Whoever asked for that? While some historical figures, like many Vikings, may indeed have had swarthy complexions, addressing their representation should be accompanied by big educational initiatives to mitigate potential outrage. This seems ludicrous, especially considering the well-documented whitewashing of numerous figures by Western scholars. We're diligently working to rectify their representation in the media. It's as if these influential groups have adopted a new strategy to flip the narrative, shame or gaslight Black people by shifting blame. Now, the victims of historical whitewashing are portrayed as oppressors trying to blackwash and steal others' history. This completely alters the narrative, endorsing the preservation of the status quo. Consequently, through these actions, people are persuaded that they are under attack and that Black people are attempting to steal their history. While it may sound simplistic, these two examples are not isolated incidents. There are other examples of similar strategies being applied to silence those of us attempting to correct history. And it was not long ago. Egypt for Egyptians. Less than a year ago, around June 2023, we've all witnessed a huge campaign all over social media called Egypt for Egyptians. The main goal was to convince the modern Egyptian youth that they were being victims of theft of history and that African Americans were the source of that issue. So, apparently, young Egyptians stood up to fight for their history, demonstrating their resemblance to their ancestors. I made a video debunking that theory. You can watch it here. As you can see, the strategy remains consistent. It's a victimhood strategy. Black people, once true victims of injustice and whitewashing, are now portrayed as perpetrators of backwashing and all the pain and suffering in the world, despite the fact that they are not even involved in these actions. Those who benefit from history not being taught accurately are now the ones whose history is being stolen. Isn't it ironic? It is as if Black people were being indirectly trolled by mainstream media. By blackwashing legit white historical figures instead of simply correcting the whitewashing of ancient Black figures, they are reinforcing the narrative that Black people are trying to steal others' history, antagonizing anyone trying to correct the lies, thus making them targets. And simultaneously, this portrayal antagonizes anyone trying to correct the lies, thus making them targets. It also negatively affects the whole Black population that is already experiencing a lot of discrimination. And especially those of us who are sincerely speaking the truth and advocating for important causes like accurate representation. Why are they doing this? I believe that when people can't defeat or control you, they'll try to affect the way people perceive you. A way to gaslight and discredit the target. The argument presented that claims that history is false and whitewashed is true. For many years, I have been working on this field, providing historic, cultural, artistic, and genetic evidence of the unquestionable contribution of Black Africans into world civilization, especially in the case of Kemet. And most of these backwashing events occurred during that period, when it was becoming way too obvious and impossible to deny.
Professor! I got it open! Good heavens, man! Great Scott, we've discovered the fountain of all knowledge of Egypt in the entire world. Do you realize the importance of this moment, Smedley?
Yes, sir, I do.
Do you see the brilliance, the untold years?
I see it, sir.
Oh,
Sir,
that's his medicine. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
You swine. Look! What is this?
See. Says, cannot. This is the elixir of life, sir.
The elixir of life?
The cure for all diseases. Wait, let's see here. Wait,
Give it to
there's
me.
an inscription on the bottom.
Give it to me. Give it.
Open at other end.
Lumix.
This can't be, man.
What?
You know what this is?
What is it, Buna?
It's the Book of Life.
Book of life.
In the beginning, when man arrived on Earth, the black gods did leave their spacecraft, and they walked, and they named the beasts of the sea and the animals of the land.
Heavens.
And man in his blackness did walk the earth, making medicine.
Medicine?
They discovered time. These were all black people got down. Wait a minute. There ain't nothing in here about whitey. This is ours, Jack. Wait till the brothers hear this.
Buna.
I'm gonna get this book out of here, baby. This tells the real tea.
Buna,
Check this out.
control yourself, don't you
What
see?
you mean, Jack? Look at this here. Black people started the music and the brain surgery back in the year 3 BC.
Yes, of course, Buna.
Man, they was getting down. This is it, brother.
Yes,
Everybody
boss.
gonna know about this. This book, we can change the history. Civilization will be changed.
By all means.
Yeah, this is gonna be it.
Get the bulldozers, there's nothing here.
But.
Shut up! Good heavens, time for tea, eh? What?
So in order to try to avoid admitting the truth, they are trying to paint themselves as victims and bury the truth by overplaying this woke blackwashing trick. A way to prevent people from taking us seriously. But if this is merely a coincidence and their intentions are good, they should contact those of us who are really involved in this field and ask for help. But this could also simply be an adjustment process. Historically, there has been a whitewashing of history. Currently, the scale may have tipped a bit too far in favor of the black narrative. Hopefully, next time it will be more accurate. It will still offend those used to the whitewashed version of history, but that's normal. Change takes time to be accepted. The destruction of the African image and the dehumanization of black people are the reasons why so many people can't accept the fact that their ancestors may have been black and dark-skinned. They can't connect to these facts because of the negative connotation given to these features. I have made a video about the long-term consequences of historical misrepresentation. You can watch it here. That's why it is necessary to rebrand Africa. If Africa hadn't experienced that stigma, people would not have any problem connecting with the blackness of our common ancestors. I hope you enjoyed the video. What are your thoughts on this topic? Do you agree with my perspective? Do you think these major groups are attempting to gaslight black people by reversing the debate? Share your opinions on whether they are hindering the correction of history and the rebranding of Africa, or if it's just a series of random mistakes. What do you anticipate for the future? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching Mr. Imhotep's channel, and see you in the next one.